In the swirling winds of a EuroLeague summer, where uncertainty and ambition collide, the architecture of a team's future is shaped not just by the stars they sign, but by those they might lose. Across Europe, basketball front offices are already drawing up blueprints, locking in deals, nurturing chemistry before the first ball is bounced. But in this delicate preseason phase, nothing is more disruptive than an unexpected departure. Nothing shakes the foundation of a contender more than the loss of a key player who was central to the plan, to the vision, to the dream. This summer is unlike any other. Because the EuroLeague is changing. From 18 to 20, that's not just an expansion of the field, it's a compression of talent. A dilution of available elite skill. A two-team addition that, while exciting for the league, places unprecedented strain on rosters everywhere. The pool is shallower. The stakes are higher. The margin for error is nearly non-existent. And that's what makes potential departures so dangerous. Because a great team is not just built on stars, it's built on balance. On continuity. On familiarity. When one piece falls, the entire structure trembles. And the summer, for all its hope and optimism, is also when empires silently crack. That's why the rumors matter. They're more than gossip, they're early tremors. Because when whispers begin around a key player possibly heading for the exit, alarms go off in boardrooms. Coaches redraw depth charts. Teammates start asking questions. And fans, they hold their breath. Among the most delicate situations this summer is the possibility of leaders walking out the door just as preseason starts taking shape. Some are veterans with years of locker room influence. Others are young cornerstones just beginning to bloom. All are vital. Look around and you'll see it. A shooting guard in Istanbul being courted by an NBA front office. A defensive anchor in Milan quietly hinting he may test free agency. A rising star in Belgrade watching closely what offers come from the West. Every one of these moves has the potential to shift the competitive order. And no, this isn't about TJ Shorts or Theo Maledon. Those moves are already happening. They're already confirmed. The ink is drying. Panathinaikos and Real Madrid are making headlines, but this isn't about confirmations, it's about possibilities. This is about the ones that could still happen. The players whose situations are unresolved. Whose futures hang in a quiet balance. Whose next decision might elevate one team and destroy another. It's about the veteran forward whose contract negotiations have stalled. He was meant to lead the team into a new era. Now his future is foggy. It's about the point guard whose breakout year caught everyone's attention, especially teams outside the EuroLeague. His buyout clause may be high, but for the right team, the right league, the right dream, it's not impossible. It's about the big man with a family to consider. A team close to his heart. But a new offer, from a rising Euro Cup contender, might turn his head. And in this expanding league, no one can afford to stand still. Because for the 20 teams aiming to lift the trophy in the spring, the race begins in summer. Not in the preseason friendlies. Not in the early rounds. It begins in boardrooms, in calls between agents, in the nervous final minutes of negotiations. Even a single unexpected exit, if it's the wrong one, could cripple a team's identity. Because every coach builds a system, a style, a heartbeat, and some players are more than stats. They're symbols. They're tone setters. When they leave, they don't just leave a hole in the lineup, they tear at the fabric of team culture. Imagine a locker room where the loudest voice is suddenly gone. Imagine a defensive unit that loses its anchor. Imagine a high-octane offense now without its primary playmaker. These aren't theoretical losses. They're real threats. Threats that hang over every franchise like a shadow, waiting to see who will blink first. And when teams scramble to fill those holes, they don't always have time on their side. The replacement market this summer will be tighter than ever. Not just because of demand, but because of strategy. Every player added now must be perfect. There's no margin for adding the wrong fit. No time to experiment. No room for mistakes. Especially when other teams are strengthening. Because while you're losing, your rivals are gaining. The arms race is already underway. And the balance of power is fragile. A missed signing here, a key exit there, it all adds up. And that's why rumors matter. That's why tracking potential exits is not just an exercise in curiosity, it's a survival tactic. Every team knows it. Every GM is watching the same list of names. The leadership of EuroLeague clubs understand they must now prepare for two battles. the one on the court, and the one off it. They must keep their stars engaged, motivated, secure, not just with money, but with vision. Because this summer will test loyalties. It will test the foundations of every roster. And the casualties won't just be names on a list, they'll be pillars that once held up championship dreams. So as fans, we wait. We refresh the pages. We watch the transfers. We hope our favorite player stays. We pray that the next headline isn't our team's loss. Because this summer, the biggest wins might be the players you don't lose. And the hardest moments will come not from the final buzzer, but from a player quietly packing his bags, closing the door, and leaving behind a team that just wasn't ready for his goodbye. That's what makes this summer dangerous. That's what makes it decisive. Because in the EuroLeague, building begins with belief. But survival begins with retention. And this year, retention might just be the hardest game of all.